biggest issue with coffee literacy is Starbucks.
Musicians who do and don't tip well, and apparently Dave Grohl like consistently leaves like $1,000. I thought when I was a kid that Megadeth was super hard metal, and they're heavy metal, but when I listened to them I was like, this is kind of weak sauce.
Hi, welcome
back to Off the Air.
Oh dang, I was about to say the same thing.
I did it first.
Today,
See, this is what happens when Dan's not here. We get the intro out immediately.
It's true, we did. I do like how you say that like you're not the one that usually delays the intro.
I would never.
Never. Honestly, never.
I only do the intro immediately when I don't have a cold open in my brain.
That's fair enough. Luckily for you, I am here ready to bitch about something in the biggest way. Yeah,
no, I actually I'm now exposed to it as well, and I'm ready as well.
So at the end of July, just a little over a week ago now, Corey Taylor dropped his I think this is his first solo single. I think this is actually just like, I don't think he's put out any. Okay, so he has a couple acoustic things on here.
Okay.
And a few other tracks, it looks like, but nothing from super like recent times. But yeah, here we are with CMFT Must Be Stopped, featuring Tech Nine and Kid Bookie. So first off, this song it listens like it just sounds like Corey just got kicked out of Slipknot and Stone Sour, and he's writing this song because he's mad about it. You know?
See, when I first saw the name, I was like, CMFT Must Be Stopped. And I said Corey Taylor in the title, and I was like, I didn't associate CMFT as being him. I was like, okay, is this like some not like satirical piece, but some like analytical piece about like some certain genre? And I was like, country music something? I was like, is this him like doing a call out against like a certain like the genre that he hates or something that he has a problem with? No, it's just his name. He's the one who needs to be stopped, apparently. And he knows it too.
Oh, he does. He really does.
And after listening to it, I'm inclined to agree with the man.
Without a doubt. So to give some backstory on that, for the last, 10 years now, people are getting real sick of the fact that every single time anything happens in the music world, Loudwire's like, oh, here we are with Corey Taylor's reaction to Old Town Road, and like literally just stuff like that. It's literally borderline like the Fine Bros React series, except it's just them shoving a mic in Corey's face being like, hey, so this happened. What do you think about it? And the music community has been very sick of hearing Corey Taylor talk like some major authority on things.
He is.
In general. I mean, of course he is. He's a ground. I'm not gonna. Okay, no. Like, sarcasm aside, I don't want to try and diminish his contributions to like music. But the problem is his main contribution is to nu metal, which, as everyone knows,
sucks.
is dead. Also, yeah, many people will say it sucks. I like it a lot, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's even mostly good. I just enjoy it.
So before we get into the actual like meat and potatoes of this song, I want to talk about my perception of like Slipknot as a group, because I don't listen to a lot of Slipknot. I haven't historically listened to a lot of Slipknot, but much like every band ever that I haven't listened to, I always just assume they're harder than they are.
Yeah.
The other day I heard a Megadeth song for the first time in a while, and I was like, I thought when I was a kid that Megadeth was super hard metal, and they're heavy metal, but when I listened to them I was like, this is kind of weak sauce. And then I just put my headphones in and listened to Death Grips on full volume, and I'm just like, oh! I don't know. I feel like at one point in time I was like, this is this is almost like scary music. This is like intense, hardcore. And now I'm like, this makes me feel nothing.
No, I remember thinking that back with Metallica, because I remember my mom talking about how the music video for Enter Sandman had played on MTV and it was so disturbing. And then I remember watching it with her and she's like, well, this doesn't seem nearly as bad. I wonder if this is an edited version. And my dad watched it and he's like, no, this is the exact same thing. We're just not as worried about this stuff. It's not as scary as it used to be. It's not like, this isn't intense. We just thought it was, And I'm like, all right. So that's cool. But yeah, like so much stuff, people like will put it on a higher shelf in their memories. And that's pretty much where Slipknot sits, because their first album or two, it was pretty heavy stuff, real chaotic noise. It was maybe not heavy so much as very intense and as such uncomfortable to listen to, And as time has gone on, they've fallen a little more into a comfortable blend of old Slipknot and Stone Sour. And Stone Sour has fallen into this blend of Iowa B-sides into radio rock. I don't really know how that one happened, but, you know, it's life.
Yeah, I mean, I think Stone Sour, I feel like the thing is they, like, what was their first album called? Like Absolute Zero? Was that a song?
No, that was a song off of their fourth
Sub-Zero?
or fifth.
Okay, why does it seem like it's an album? Maybe it's just because it was really popular, like, on the radio.
Yeah, no, it was huge.
Yeah, I just feel like that was like I feel like that and like Absolute Zero and Through Glass kind of like cemented them as like this band does this.
So,
and then everyone was like, do the thing, Bart.
Yeah, so album wise, they released their album Stone Sour way back in the 2000s. And this was like right after Slipknot's first album came out, and then they took a hiatus. And then we got Come Whatever May in 2005. Wait,
Good album,
2005, 2006.
Push My Fingers Into My Eyes and all that.
Well, yeah, that was probably about the time for that Slipknot album. No, that was 2003. 2003. Come Whatever May is the one that has Through Glass on it. Everyone knows Through Glass. Mm-hmm. You got Audio Secrecy as their next album. No one knows anything about Audio Secrecy. That album,
not even me,
was written after the bassist Paul Gray, Slipknot's old guy, he died. So this album was written in the aftermath of that. Then we have House of Golden Bones Part 1 and 2. Part 1 is the one that has Absolute Zero on it.
Okay.
So, you know, we got a pretty big range of stuff, but House of Golden Bones was more of a conceptual album, and it was one of those things where it's like, okay, they got a big story, they had a graphic novel that went with it. It was a kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, very conceptual. In fact, I even conceived my first child to that album.
Yeah, you know, this
is not true. I have no kids. But I am willing to adopt if anyone wants to be legally my child. Terrible idea, but just DM me.
You'll get wooden spoons.
Yeah, I'll make you a wooden spoon, but I can't promise anything else, really.
You know what? That's fair enough. Let's see. But then we have the Burbank EP, Meanwhile in Burbank and Straight Outta Burbank, and they were both cover albums. And I really, they're not good. They're really, really not good. They had just picked up their new guitarist because they'd kicked out Jim Root, the other Slipknot crossover.
Yeah, I did hate Jim Root.
I mean, Jim Root is actually pretty cool, but...
no.
They did... Well, fair enough.
He hit me in the face one time in a Denny's.
I believe you. I have no reason not to believe you.
Thank you.
Let's see. They got this greaser-looking dude. He joined in, and then we get the album Hydrograd, dropped in 2017, I want to say. And... it's okay, you know, but it went a lot more radio at this point. It has just continued in the direction of being really radio-friendly music that he just swears in, you know?
Oh.
And, I mean, that's fine. But Corey Taylor just kind of exists in this realm of he pretends he knows everything about everything, and he just will not stop talking about it. And that brings us to CMFT Must Be Stopped. The single that was released in 2020 that I just don't know where he's coming from with it. It sounds like he's pissed off at somebody. And is he pissed off at the people who just want to stop hearing his take on things? I don't know. Is he pissed off because both of his bands kicked him out? Because that's kind of the vibe I get. No.
Did they kick him out?
They didn't. No.
I didn't think so.
Like, this is just him putting out a solo song where he's just like, hey, I'm a big deal. And oh man, someone's got to stop me. But, you know, spoiler alert, the last line of the song is CMFT can't be stopped.
No!
Mm-hmm.
No!
I know, you can't stop him. You can't stop him.
What do we do?
Oh, I don't know. So here's my big, very firm take on this matter, okay?
Okay.
Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit is a worlds better rapper than Corey Taylor. And the fact
I agree after listening to the song.
The fact that Corey Taylor is pulling out his rapping bones again after like not rapping since 1999's Slipknot release.
I do want to say Fred Durst is not a good rapper.
He's not a great rapper, no. But
but he is much better than Corey Taylor.
Fred Durst is very good at his flavor of rapping, which is rapping over rock, you know?
Yeah.
He's just...
yeah.
You know, Limp Bizkit isn't great, but by golly, Limp Bizkit is very good at what they do. CMFT Must Be Stopped gave me big Gold Cobra energy. That's Limp Bizkit's worst album. It's not a good album, but because it's Limp Bizkit, it's okay in the sense that while it's not good, what they did what they did well, you know? It has more salvageable tracks than not. Where obviously I'm comparing an album to a single song, so it's not fair. But go ahead.
I like talking with Noah about music because this is an aside, a fourth wall break, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I like talking to Noah about music because when I talk to Noah about music, it just reminds me entirely how different our musical tastes are.
I'm glad I can help with that. Is it the part where I said I like Limp Bizkit?
No, it's the part where you knew everything about Slipknot. I listened to Duality a few times because I think it's a funny meme song, and that's the extent of my Slipknot knowledge.
Well, fair
that
enough.
And the one where it's like Wait and Bleed. That's the other one I know.
Wait and Bleed's good.
I don't know. I just I don't really like nu metal. It all kind of blends together in my brain. Speaking of bands that I thought were like harder than they were, absolutely Disturbed gets an award there.
Oh, 100%.
Because like Disturbed, Slipknot gets there too though, just because like both of them market so like edgily. Like they're so edgy in their marketing tactics. Like they're so like over the top. But then you listen to it and it's just like like if I want to listen to Hootie and the Blowfish, I would have just done that on my own time. You didn't have to like put a Grim Reaper on the shirt. Like you could have just been like, hey guys, we sound like Hootie and the Blowfish. I'd be like, all right, that's cool. Obviously, they don't sound like Hootie and the Blowfish, but the voice is very similar to Darius Rucker's. The actual musical sound is very different, but it's the voice I'm making fun of. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of like, I don't know, man. If you're just gonna be like Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, like just say it.
No, man, they're hardcore. They're like Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots with like better intense guitar. You don't understand. And like they rap sometimes.
One time at my old job, my boss put on the Disturbed cover of The Sound of Silence. I had never heard it before. And he was like, this is Disturbed. And I was like, this is Disturbed? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, first of all, I guess I really just don't know Disturbed as well as I thought. And second of all, this kind of sucks ass. And then apparently that's not the normal take. Apparently everyone's like, this is so good.
So here's my thought. I do enjoy that cover an awful lot. Disturbed has done a couple covers, and I think this is one of their best ones. But they also leaned into a Comer style for it, whereas the other ones, they actually tried to play the song in their own style, which, obviously better. But
I just think there's something that, like, doing it, I mean, obviously it has a different inflection than the original, and that's part of the point. But I just feel like you kind of lose a little bit of The Sound of Silence when you're instead just, like, yelling the whole time.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
Maybe that's like the irony of it, but I still prefer the original.
Yeah, no, I understand it.
Because there's something about like the washed out vocals and like the over present instrumentation, I guess, in the original, where when you drop that and you make it almost a cappella for half of the song, it touches in a different way. Sound of silence. It's just sound of disturbed men yelling.
Yeah,
which is fine.
That is a departure from their usual sound, but much like Stone Sour, they've moved in a more radio friendly direction. They actually put out an entire song about weed and how much they loved weed.
Kill him. Get him out of here. I don't want to hear about it. Kill him.
But yeah, we're
jail.
Back to Corey Taylor. Back to CMFT.
Yeah.
So I forgot that was his nickname. When I saw that title, I'm like, what does this mean? And then I listened to it. I'm like, oh, good Lord, Corey, you're not actually writing this song about yourself, are you? And we just sit here listening to him say, what's my name? C motherfucking T. And I'm like, no, this is not good. This is not good, Corey. What made you think this was a good idea? The entire music video, like that's an entire beast in and of itself. But the fact that this man wrote an entire song about how cool he is, and then he took a rap verse where it had potential, but he just didn't do it. If Fred Durst had done the exact same verse, I would have loved it. And it's not because I don't like Corey Taylor. I respect what Corey Taylor has done. You know, I think as a singer, he is not bad at all. He's got...
The only reason I know Corey Taylor by name is because of the fact that he's notorious for not tipping.
You're kidding me.
No, that's the only reason I know his name.
How is he notorious for not tipping? That's such a shitty thing to do.
Yeah, I know. But that's like the reason I would have known him as like Slipknot singer or maybe Stone Sour singer.
Yeah.
But then people like... I've seen like several different instances where they're like, Corey Taylor doesn't tip. Or if he does, it's like next to nothing.
Amazing. What a shitty dude.
And so that's the only reason I actually know his name. Like, that's why, otherwise I would have seen that and been like, who's Corey Taylor? But because he doesn't tip, I know his name.
Mm-hmm.
You know who does tip a shitload?
Who?
Dave Grohl. So all I'm saying, Dave Grohl, objectively better musician.
You know?
Which I kind of agree with anyway. And he tips.
You know what? Fair enough.
Yeah, there was like I've seen a couple of different threads where they're like, hey, talking about like musicians who do and don't tip well. And apparently Dave Grohl like consistently leaves like $1,000.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's so much money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but I mean, he got the Nirvana money coming to him, and he got the Foo Fighters money coming to him, and he's just Dave Grohl, so that probably gives him some money somewhere. I'm sure someone's paying him for being Dave.
Yeah, he gets a check from the government every year, and they're just like, "Thank you for being you. Here's your annual Dave Grohl kickback."
Thanks, Dave. You done it again. One more year.
So let's talk about this video for a second.
Uh-huh.
The man writes a big song about how cool he is.
Yep.
And how big his penis is, and he's just the coolest guy around. And the entire video looks like it looks like someone put together a fight promo that Corey Taylor was going to fight somebody, but they just kept making it. And there was a whole song that goes with it, and it's just too long. And it's just him standing there with a wrestling belt with his initials
on. It really does
it's
look
just
like he's going to get in a fight.
I'm so cool.
Maybe that's like what they were going for.
Oh, without a doubt. But like, it's so overly dramatic. And their biggest issue was they put him in here taking a verse rapping up against Tech Nine and this dude Kid Bookie. I don't know Kid Bookie, but he's got a nice flow. I really enjoyed seeing him up there because he's not bad at what he does. I hate the beginning of his verse, how he opens up with,
I love it.
Let me tell you who I am, or in case you don't know who I am, something like that. And then he just doesn't.
It's like, let me introduce you for those of you who don't know who I am, something like that.
Yeah, and then he just doesn't do it.
It's just like, he says, let me introduce you if you don't know who I am. And then he just talks about Corey Taylor.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, fine.
It's like,
but then we got Tech Nine. And I got a lot of respect for Tech Nine. I think he's very, very good at what he does. You can not like him. You know, I think that's very fair to not enjoy his style. But he is a very, very smooth, fast rapper. A lot of fast rappers will lose a lot of syllables when they go, or they just go for syllables and try and make you think that they said more words. Mm-hmm. And Tech actually does throw a lot of words out there. I respect what he's doing. It's not a bad time. And his verse on this song is very good. He really, really vibes with the music, and it just goes. But then we cut back to this, just the stupidest chorus, where Corey's just sitting there saying, I don't need nothing.
Yeah,
and
I also do want to discuss the number of cameos in the music video. I don't know if you watched the whole music video or not.
No, I didn't end up finishing it.
You said you were listening to mostly just like on the streaming services. But the music video, there's a lot of cameos. Like Marilyn Manson has a little thing where he pops up and says like, CMFT must be stopped. There's like that's the one I'm remembering right now. I know there's others too.
Oh yeah, I actually
there's a handful of other musicians.
Clicked on a random spot of the video and I see him. It just flashed through like 3 cameos real quick.
Yeah,
was that Lil Uzi Vert?
I don't think so. Maybe I wasn't paying that much attention. I just remember the Marilyn Manson one because he's very distinct.
There's the dude from Hatebreed, Hasta, Rob Halford, Ian from Anthrax. Oh, this is bad, dude. I'm glad all these bands like Corey Taylor, but this is just not good.
I really hope they don't like Corey Taylor. Like,
they're like, oh yeah, we do need to stop him. I'll get behind this video.
Yeah, can you do a frame of saying I hate Corey Taylor, and they're all like, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I don't think we can say anything else without addressing the fact that there's just too many shots of this one girl breathing fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no matter how many half-naked women you put in the music video, I will never think of Corey Taylor in a sexual way.
No, that's super real. I
just can't.
He just sits there and he looks like such a dick.
Yeah, and I know that he does fuck. Oh yeah, for sure.
He has to. He's a rock star. I guess that's just how it be. But I can't
think of him fucking. If you're like, can you picture in your brain Corey Taylor having sex with someone? My brain's just like, nah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
The same kind of goes for Fred Durst.
I feel like it's not only because you don't want to. It's just because no matter what, you don't see them as a sexual being.
Yeah, but then if you're like Tech Nine having sex, I'm like, Tech Nine definitely fucks.
100%.
I can see that happening. Corey Taylor, I'm like, my brain is just like, nah, he probably. I mean, maybe, but it probably sucks.
And it's like, yeah, I'm sure he does, but like, I couldn't imagine it. Yeah, same with Fred Durst. I can get behind you on that one.
Yeah, like I can't see Fred Durst as like a sex icon. No matter if he were to try and sell him, he didn't really sell himself as one at all. But
I mean, he did have an entire song about how his entire music career was just to get laid. So,
yeah, but that was more of like a bit. That was a kind of a bit silly, and also it wasn't like I'm having crazy sex and I'm the best. I'm the best sex man.
Exactly. I feel like that. I guess that is the big difference, right? Like anytime he talked about sex, it was always in the context of, oh yeah, I'm so great. I'm getting laid like all the time, guys. Whereas Tech Nine is just like much more explicit about what he does, and he also just there's just something about him. It's like, oh yeah, he actually just stopped having sex to film this video, and then he's gonna go back,
and then he's going to have more sex after the video.
He is he is a diagnosed sex addict, so like that also is a thing. But you know, whatever.
We'll be diagnosing that.
I don't know.
How do you tell him? You know. Well, I guess it's kind of like. I was thinking about the other day, I was like, if I were to just go to my therapist and just lie, I mean, obviously, like, there's some, like, on some level, they can kind of see past it, and they're trained to, like, look around it, but, like, they might just be like, yeah, I guess you're good now, or something, you know? And it's just like obviously the whole idea of like therapy is it's that barrier of trust, and you're assuming that there is trust that exists between the patient and the doctor. But like I was just thinking, I was like, what if I just like was like, nah, I might. So I feel like that's kind of how I don't know where I was going with this. I was just thinking about lying to my therapist for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, baby
yeah.
metal's in this video.
Oh, good for them.
And a guy who looks like a guy I know here in Erie, but he's definitely not, but it looks like him. Oh, what a weird time this is. I don't know, I was hoping to pop down into the comments and see someone list out, some of the cameos. And instead, it's just people saying Corey Taylor wins the Corey Taylor medal for being the best Corey Taylor. Hi, my name is Corey Taylor. This song is about Corey Taylor called Corey Taylor Must Be Stopped, performed by me, Corey Taylor. And it's I don't know. It
is very self-gratifying. It's kind of like a rebuttal to a diss track that never dropped.
That's it. This is a rebuttal to a diss track that never dropped. I see a lot of people in the comments here acting like he didn't have a new metal phase, because they're referring to this as his like Limp Bizkit phase 20 years late. And it's like, nah, dude, he did have that phase already. Don't worry. He already hit that era of his career. He's just returning to it for some strange reason.
No, this is his first song, really.
Other people are comparing this to Kid Rock, and that's
thank God. Ba wada ba da bang da bang diggy diggy.
I feel like it's offensive to Kid Rock, who has left his new metal
and now is in politics
era in the dirt because he moved on to his weird like Lynyrd Skynyrd Werewolves of London country song thing. And yeah, now he just won't shut up about politics. So, it is as we do. But no, it's I don't know. I saw people like shitting on this song and I'm like, okay, I need to check this out before I actually make any sort of decisions about how I feel about it. Mm-hmm. And then I listened to it and I just heard Corey's verse and I was so annoyed at it that I moved on.
I think that CMFT legally has an obligation to stop.
I can very much get behind that.
That's my my takeaway. So Noah, what else have you been doing this week? Not that I want to cut away from Corey Taylor and his exploits, but it has been almost half an hour of talking about the song. Mm-hmm. So what else have you been up to?
Not much. This is pretty much taken over my week. I listened to it on like Tuesday or Wednesday, and it just kind of hit me, and I'm like, oh, this is less than good. But yeah, I don't know if anyone's been following my Twitter disasters recently. I've been trying to get this program called ProPresenter to work. I think I talked about it last week even.
Yeah, about the one guy who makes all the videos.
Yeah, good old Paul Allen Clifford. Yeah. I have finally fixed all my issues, so I have no more videos about ProPresenter that I have to listen to anymore. I have completed
kind of sad
that
though on a level, isn't it?
Nope.
Not even a little bit sad.
Nope. I can do productive things now, and I don't have to listen to this man very slowly tell me how ProPresenter works. I can now just kind of burn right through it and be productive. In theory, I won't be productive. It's, my mental capacities are pretty dang low right now, so I probably won't be productive, but that's not important.
You know what? That's not important.
Exactly.
What are you doing on ProPresenter?
It's just song lyrics and stuff like that. I need to find a way to send it to my streaming programs while also sending a different image, two different images to two different screens. So really, I just need 3 different images across all screens simultaneously. And I was having issues like programming that stuff.
Okay. That makes sense, I suppose. Do you hear they're making another Matrix movie?
I have heard that they're making another one.
That's weird, right?
I don't know how to feel about that. I guess I'm kind of excited.
Bad, mostly.
But like, I don't know. I don't think I'm not super excited to see it, much like I'm not super excited to see many movies coming out. I kind of want to see Tenet, but I don't think I'm going to go to a movie theater to see it. And
The Matrix 4 doesn't come out for another 2 years.
Which one?
You got time.
Well,
The Matrix 4.
Fair enough.
A lot of time to, think about it. Oh, Keanu Reeves is going to be the star?
Oh, yeah. I believe they got a couple members of the cast to return.
But not to spoil The Matrix Revolutions. The best Matrix movie, objectively.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it end with Neo literally, sacrificing himself?
Yep, he definitely died. He really died.
To stop the cycle or something? To restart the cycle?
I think he sacrificed himself to the machines to give them a soul, empathy. I don't remember. It was I haven't watched that one in a very, very long time. I haven't even watched the first one in a long time, and that was the one I really liked. Although
I've seen the third one once.
Yep.
And that was it, because I was like, yeah, I kind of get it. I've seen the first one 2 or 3 times, and the second one, I like the second one.
it's fun. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and be like, yeah, this is a necessary part of my Matrix viewing experience. But as its own individual movie, I'm like, yeah, no, this thing slaps. It's a mess.
Yeah, I don't know like anything about what's going on with the fourth Matrix. I think let me double check before I go making any statements. I think it's the same like direction, isn't it? Let me see. I'm gonna Google it before I just go making claims. Okay, yeah, maybe. Matrix 4 2022. I'm looking at the IMDb page.
Ooh.
Yeah, it exists. There's a couple of photos on it too. There's one of like Keanu Reeves on a motorcycle.
Jeez.
Yeah. Lana Wachowski is the director, so
nice. Not both?
It is returned to the similar direction. Keanu Reeves is there. Carrie-Anne Moss is Trinity.
I like how there's this...
Neil Patrick Harris is credited.
Oh, no.
Jada Pinkett Smith
is I was just about to say, I see
credited.
Jada Pinkett Smith. Let's see. Oh, we got Trinity back. That's fun. I don't know. I just love the fact that we have like a video or two or a picture or two here, but we have the only video that's up here about it is it's not even a trailer. It's nothing about it. It's just, this is what we know so far. And it's like, all right.
Well, it says that it doesn't say that both the Wachowski sisters are directing it though.
Yeah, no, it's just Lana.
It just says Lana. Because I'm looking at Lily Wachowski's page and it doesn't say. That's weird.
Lily didn't help write it either.
That's strange. I wonder. I mean, I don't think there's anything like. Maybe she's like working on something else. That is kind of weird though, because that was a joint project from them, wasn't it? It was like a big like the Wachowskis at the time was.
Yeah,
like,
no, it was. Yeah, it was
together
a big deal for them.
Interesting. Maybe they just haven't like credited Lily on it yet. I don't know.
I guess it's a possibility. I wonder.
But yeah, they're making a fourth Matrix movie. And I don't know if that's a good idea. That's my take. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Let's see.
I'm just confused as to... I mean, there's probably some, like, retconning that needs to be done, but that never feels good in a movie. When they're like, turns out Neo didn't sacrifice himself. And it's not a prequel. It says it's a sequel.
Yeah. I can't find anything about Lily being involved with number 4. Mostly because, as of recording, like 4 or 5 days ago... Lily came out saying that the Matrix trilogy is about, being trans. So that's the only thing filling up my newsfeed right now is just stuff about that.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna say that's right because obviously she directed it. But I don't know enough about the Matrix to say anything one way or another. I just know slow-mo fight scenes, and I haven't watched it since I was 13.
Yeah, Nina and I watched it. Or not watched it. We talked about it on stream last night. It's one of those things where, like, thinking about it, yeah, I suppose that makes sense. But also, it's one of those things where I would not have initially guessed that because I don't personally think, to me, the themes don't stand out as much as I would think. But obviously, enough people had read that into the story that they were like, no, yeah, that is actually what we intended. Thanks.
Yeah, so. I mean, giving the lives of the directors, it makes sense as well. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about the Matrix. I just know that they're making a fourth one, and I don't know. There's probably some way to sequelize it. Maybe like Neo doesn't actually sacrifice himself to the machines, because I don't know if it's explicit. Like I think it's one of those you just see him get like carted off, like carried away by the machine spirits or something.
See, I'm just seeing some videos here that like, oh, how Neo and Trinity are still alive in the Matrix 4. So yeah, I guess Trinity did die too, didn't she?
Yeah, sounds right.
That's saying Neo will be way darker in Matrix 4, but you know, these are all things from February when it was like the hype had been just like hitting for it.
I didn't hear about it until like a week ago.
Really? I thought that you told me about it a little while back. No. Like looking into this, I'm like, maybe Jackson mentioned
Maybe
this.
I did, and then I forgot about it, and then I remembered about it.
That's valid.
But I don't think so. I think I didn't know until recently. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what transpires with it. It's way too soon to like make any sort of judgments. It just does seem like a weird thing, and I'm always super suspect about any like sequels, just because it generally screams cash grab.
Yeah,
especially when it's a hyper delayed sequel, and especially when it stars Keanu Reeves, who is currently like huge. The biggest like buzz. Yeah, like everyone's like obsessed with him. So it's crazy they did a Bill and Ted movie again, and now they're doing a Matrix again. I mean, Keanu Reeves is he's literally like an amazing person, and he's like super cool. But it's I don't know. It just kind of screams cash grab to me. Yeah. That being said, I hope it's really good.
I hope so too.
I hope it comes off well.
All I can think about is the new Terminator that, I heard some people say was fun.
Which one?
I don't know, dude. It came out
they
just
never really
recently.
stopped making them. Yeah, no, they've made like 3 in the last 5 years.
Oh, I know. And they've all been bad.
What was it? The Terminator Genesis was one. Terminator Dark.
I was going to say Terminator Zero Dark 30, whatever it was called.
Yeah, and they're bad. Like, it's just, they're clearly
Fate.
doing it.
Man.
What was it called?
Dark Fate.
That sucks. That just sucks.
It managed to 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, but everywhere else it's getting a solid, 50%, 60 on the tops. It's not looking good.
Yeah, just let your film die. Or do the classic Ridley Scott where you're like, it's not actually an alien movie. It's Prometheus. Shut up, dude.
I was probably one of the few people that went into that not, honestly having no clue that it was an alien movie. I saw it
for the first time years later.
Yeah, so I saw it at the theater, and I went into it thinking, all right, this is going to be a fun sci-fi movie. And it literally wasn't until the actual end of the movie, when the alien hatched in the mid-credits scene or whatever, that it clicked with me that this was an alien movie. Yeah,
because the ship is the same ship that they...
Because other elements of it, I'm like, wow, that feels a lot like Alien, to the point where I just kind of felt like it was an Alien knockoff. But, I feel like it's bad when you write a movie and it feels like a knockoff of your own movie. I feel like that's bad. Call me crazy.
Yeah. Alien Covenant is also very bad.
So I've heard.
Yeah,
I've only seen the first
I'm
one.
I'm sick of all the boring sequels. But the problem is people just are going to keep pumping them out because they make money consistently, and original movies don't make nearly the same amount of money.
Which is a shame. As much as I absolutely adore the Friday the 13th saga, I really do think most series need to calm down. And the only reason I like Friday the 13th is because it's just dumb. They really just let it go after a while, and it was like, all right, cool. So we're just going crazy with this one.
Do you have a favorite director?
Do I or you do?
Do you?
I don't know.
I don't know if I do either.
Can I just say A24 is my favorite director?
No. Jail.
No, I don't know. I feel like my favorite director, I don't think I could just pick one because firstly, I don't remember the names of most of the directors. And secondly, I would feel like it's not fair for me to pick a director of a genre specific director as my overall favorite director, because I don't think I like enough. I don't know. I wouldn't want to pick a horror director as my favorite because I know objectively I like the directing of other people in other movies more. But for horror, there are certain people that I'm like, yeah. Sam Raimi's a trip and a half, but I just don't enjoy his movies.
Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man 2 obviously being the exception.
All right.
No, I guess
you watch it there.
My big controversial take is I don't think the Evil Dead is that great. Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness.
It's just a Cabin in the Woods ripoff.
Yes.
The nice thing about being me and cultivating the entire identity that I have is that I would be very surprised if there's anyone who has listened to 40 minutes of the podcast and is like, he meant that.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he thinks Sam Raimi is better than insert director here. I can't believe that he actually thinks Evil Dead is just a knockoff of a movie that came out 30 years later.
Sam Raimi is pretty good. The Spider-Man 2 is really good. I don't know. I really do like Wes Anderson's movies.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they're fun. They feel nice. They're interesting. Grand Budapest Hotel is one of my favorite movies. It's cute. It's fun. It's got a nice little flair to it. Let's look at my 10 Blu-rays that I got here. Let's see. You could forget Hayao Miyazaki.
Oh yeah,
counts as a director. Although I think I guess I think of him as more of an artist, but he is the director of the films.
Fair enough.
So
I don't know. My Blu-rays are all behind me, but
I have 10.
I have more than 10.
Let me count them. Let's do a walkthrough of Jackson's Blu-ray collection.
Ooh, Jackson's Blu-ray corner.
All right. I've got them out. Let's see how many we got here. 2, 4, 6. Oh, I only have 9. My bad.
Oh, I'm disappointed.
All right, let's start off here. First one we got is Your Name. Your Name. It's a great movie. It's really pretty. Very cute. Good anime movie. Good time. Not to be confused with Call Me By Your Name, which came out in a similar time frame, and it just created a whole bunch of hassle. Who directed this one? Oh, Makoto Shinkai. Who could forget? Makoto Shinkai has done a couple different movies. They're all really, really like well stylized, very, very pretty. Your Name, good movie. Good. I got Spirited Away. Don't remember. Didn't buy this one. I don't remember how I got it. Maybe like a friend left it here or something. I don't know. But I've got a copy of Spirited Away. Not my copy of Spirited Away. Somebody's though. I'm sure it'll find a home. I've got The Neon Demon. That's a good one. Very fun. Again, very, very, very stylized, very pretty. I like movies that are like
pretty,
shiny,
stylized.
Yes, I like movies that have a bit of a sheen to them. Princess Mononoke, another Studio Ghibli movie. Nausicaa: The Valley of the Wind, another Studio Ghibli movie. I've got those two. Technically, I have three, I guess, but again, The Spirited Away is not mine. I don't own it. Maybe it's my friend Jared's. That sounds right. I feel like we watched it and he left it here. No, we didn't even watch it. He just left it here. We were gonna watch it.
Oh,
that's what happened. Okay, now you know. Then we've got starring Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan. I got Space Jam on Blu-ray.
Hey, there you go.
So Space Jam on Blu-ray. I got this one 5, maybe 6 years ago from the girl I dated in high school. Got it for me for my birthday.
Nice.
So yeah, Space Jam on Blu-ray, an all-time classic. I didn't know they made it on Blu-ray. It feels kind of like maybe it was like an eBay purchase because it feels almost like it was like a burnt disc. You know?
Yeah.
And the case isn't quite right feeling, but I still have it and it still works. Then we got Manchester by the Sea. It's a good movie. It is good. It's got Lucas Hedges in it. Lucas Hedges. Casey Affleck won Best Actor for his performance in it, although he is a scumbag. But yeah, no, Lucas Hedges is pretty good. He was in this. Yeah, he's a young guy. He's in a couple different pretty big movies, but it's worth checking out. It's a good performance. It's very sad. It's just a very horizontally moving story about life in New England. Life, love, and loss. You know.
Oh yeah.
You got The Grand Budapest Hotel. Like I said, one of my favorite movies. Wes Anderson. Very fun.
I've heard it's very good and worth watching.
It is, yeah, very much worth watching if you like that type of thing. And yeah, I can't imagine anyone wouldn't. It's a really fun movie. You got, and finally, from Movies You Buy, we talked about this on the podcast before. I've got my copy that I got from 7-Eleven for $3 of Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. That's my Blu-ray collection. That's every movie I own. I don't have any DVDs. I don't have any VHSs. I just have 9 Blu-rays.
I mean, I would be surprised if you had any VHSs, to be fair.
Me too. But yeah, that's what I got. That's my entire collection.
I think I've talked about this before where I, for a while, I was just buying cheap DVDs. Yeah, we don't have enough time for you to go through your collection. Oh, no,
we're several days.
We're definitely not going to do that. But I have an easy 80 DVDs that I'm never going to watch again. They're fun. They were enjoyable movies. But by golly, am I done with them now?
So that's the nice thing about this 9 is I've watched all of them at least twice.
See, I enjoy watching movies that I can't always find on streaming services. So, and I also just like having the physical media of a Blu-ray. It makes me happy. So anymore, when it's a movie that I want to check out, I'm just like, I'll sink $5 on that. I'll sink $10 on that, depending on where I can get it at. Nina works at a used media place, so
it's true. I'm
able to get my hands on stuff a lot easier than I used to now. Yeah, used, new. I'm not picky. I don't know. So I have a bunch of movies like The Tall Man that I'm never going to watch again, but by golly, do I own it on Blu-ray. I bought that one for $2.
See, I just can't, like, in my brain, I'm like, it's not really worth $2 to watch a movie. But that's also why, like, I don't have any, like, streaming services that I actually pay for.
Yeah, fair enough.
I have Amazon Prime because I got it free for a year for being a student.
There you go.
Because usually it's free for 6 months, but don't tell Jeff. But because I went to Penn State at one point in time, I still had a Penn State email that was active because they're active for like 5 years after you stop going.
Oh, geez.
And then I used that one for a free 6 months, and now I'm using my one for my current school, Edinburgh. So I get a free 6 months off that. So still have free Prime. So I watch Amazon Prime movies every like once in a blue moon, and I get Hulu for free because I have Spotify.
I used to do the free Hulu through Spotify, but I couldn't put up with the ads breaking up my. This is when I was working third shift. I used to watch either Always Sunny or just cooking shows because I like to have them on in the background, you know, stuff that like Always Sunny I was familiar enough with that I didn't need to worry about it. And cooking shows were just like fun to have talking in the background when I didn't want to listen to a podcast. And, you know, that was fun enough stuff, but the ads broke everything up for me so much it actually made me more tired. So I'm like, all right, fine. I'll actually pay for my Hulu. And I did, and it worked out nice. Also for Spotify, I was paying for it for work for a while. So I just bought the family pack. Don't tell anyone, it's a secret. But now I share it with Nina, and eventually when I move, I will
that is legal though, you know.
Sharing it with Nina?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that one's legal. Eventually when I move, I'll change things up. Probably cut down from the family pack to the roommate pack. Because they do have a 2-person pack out there somewhere.
Yeah, they keep telling me I should get that. I'm like, you know that I am alone, right, Spotify?
It's like, yeah.
You see what I listen to. You know I'm alone. Nobody listens to that much Mountain Goats regularly.
I was going to say, no one becomes a top 1% Mountain Goats fan by accident. Although I will say, I really enjoyed listening to them when we were in the car on the way to Philly.
They're good.
That's the first time I had ever listened to them. I kept meaning to because like you talked about them. I'm like, okay, they sound nice. I'll check them out. And then I just never got around to it.
Yeah, I mean, they just vary. Like it's one of those things where I think I first started listening to them probably a little bit over a year ago, maybe a little bit more than that. And like at first it was just like, you know, listening a little bit here and there. And then I was like, man, I actually do really like this. I'm going to listen to it way more.
Yeah. Why not, right?
And then I was like, this is good. I can listen to it more. And then I was like, oh, they have 30 albums? Nice. There are probably still Mountain Goat songs I haven't heard. There's not many, I would be willing to wager. But, yeah, their just discography covers, like, at least an album a year since, like, 1993.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And it's mostly just good old John Darnielle. Let's see. So I have their entire discography on a playlist. It is 19 hours and 24 minutes.
Nice. That is a good discography.
I don't have a number of songs on it, but yeah, you can just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll.
Well, I mean, I'm impressed.
2, let's see, 3. Yeah, there's just more and more albums. There's just so many albums, and most of them are like full length.
As it should be, right?
Yeah, and it's nice to be able to like look back and be like, look at all these songs I can listen to. It kind of becomes like its own little hobby.
Listening to music or collecting Mountain Goat?
No, listening to music. I mean, I guess listening to music kind of is a hobby, but like.
I made it into a hobby for a hot minute, so I mean, I like to think of it as one.
Listening through like just like a band's music, like getting through like the lore of the music is a hobby.
I can get behind that. I actually do enjoy that a lot. I think there's a lot of fun to be had when you just like go and appreciate different.
Corey Taylor.
Yeah, Corey Taylor. I'm just like, Corey Taylor, good old CMFT.
I appreciate how much he must be stopped.
He must be stopped, but I don't mind if he's not because, oh boy, I love him. He can't be.
No. He can't be. What do we do? We're doomed.
Who knows? We're just doomed, I guess.
The world of perpetual CMFT. Let's see. No, what's your so I don't. Did I talk about my new job on this podcast? Did I tell you I got a new job?
You did mention that you had a new job, but I don't think you told me what it was. And we definitely haven't talked about it. Coffee shop. Nice.
Yeah. So my friend's parents, parents' friends, and also my friend's parents, opened up a coffee shop, and they were like, "Hey, we opened a coffee shop. You want to work here?" And I was like, "I don't know." They're like, "We'll pay you money," and I was like,
"Oh shoot, dude!"
And they're like, "We'll pay you money," and I was like, "All right, I'm coming." So now I work at a coffee shop, and it's fun, it's cute, it's cool.
I can't believe they were just willing to pay you money like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. So Noah, what do you? If you go to a coffee shop, what do you get?
I either like a hot or cold spiced chai, and I'm a huge fan of anything white mocha.
Okay.
Hot white mocha or an iced chai. There it is. That's when I'm at Starbucks. That's my usual order.
That's the Noah. No, that's the number one on the Noah menu.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a good order or not, but I like it.
No, there's no like. There are some bad orders.
Oh yes.
Mostly just like I find that coffee works a lot like alcohol in the sense that like people are way less coffee literate than they think they are.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Just like with alcohol, people are way less alcohol literate than they think they are. They're like, I know a lot about alcohol, but then they actually don't know at all.
No. It turns out all that they actually know about alcohol is that they can get drunk with it.
They kind of get like a... Oh, and then they'll try ordering something fancy, but they won't know how to, like, what it is or how to order. And there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, yeah. But instead of being like, hey, I don't really know much about this, how's that work? They're like, I'm doubling down. I'm going to be confident.
Yeah, I'd like a an iced gin vermouth on the rocks. And it's like, well, so you just want a martini with ice? I don't know. That was a bad example. I realized as I was just listing things
I've been
that I
asked
made
for
a
an
drink.
old fashioned with vodka before.
An old fashioned with vodka sounds so bad.
I was like,
the entirety of an old fashioned is the bourbon.
It's probably fine. Like I don't know, but they're like, I was like, you know what like an old fashioned is? The best is when people just like ask for an old fashioned and then you make them one and they're like, this actually isn't what I wanted. You're like, well,
I mean, I have done that just before.
Like, it's just like ice and bitters
because I'm like,
liquor.
I want to try an old fashioned. And then I tried it and I'm like, this was not exactly what I was hoping it would be. But, you drink it anyway because I made my mistake. So I'm just going to live with it.
Because like some people in some places will like load it up with like sugar and all that stuff. Most of them not though. And I feel like I think a cappuccino sits in the same realm as an old fashioned. Where people
Very
are like,
much so.
Yes, that's a thing people drink. I'll have an old fashioned. And then they get it and they're like, this actually isn't what I wanted at all. I wanted... an iced mocha. And there's nothing wrong with wanting an iced mocha. They go hard. Mm-hmm. But like a cappuccino is literally just espresso, sometimes a tiny bit of milk, but then almost exclusively just foam.
Yeah.
Like it's just milk foam and espresso.
And honestly, I feel like the biggest issue with coffee literacy is Starbucks. Starbucks has a bunch of different rules about coffee than everyone else does.
Yeah, and they're also like the biggest chain. Because like an iced cappuccino is something I get asked for a lot. And it's not a thing because you can't put foam on ice because it just goes away.
Yeah, thanks,
the foam
Tim
only
Hortons
exists
with your
because
ice
of
caps.
the aeration. Yeah. Tim Horton is like, this is an ice cap. I'm like, well, it's actually not an iced cappuccino. It's called an ice cap as a play on words with the polar things that we got at the top of the world for a little while. So we got a couple more years with those. And
only 90s kids will remember this.
Oh, but yeah, you can't ice a cappuccino. I can make you like an iced latte if you just want like espresso, milk, and some flavor. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. We can do that all day long.
Iced lattes are pretty good, even. But yeah, people think latte and cappuccino are like interchangeable terms, and obviously they're not.
Yeah, kind of like I definitely get a lot of requests for people asking for a mocha latte as well. It's a big one. Like that's a bit redundant because a mocha is basically just a chocolate latte. And if you want a mocha latte, then you just want a mocha. And that's fine. People just, because of the way that like chain coffee stores work and just like American coffee culture in general works. Yeah, people don't really know what those are. Everything's a brand name. The best is when people are like, I actually like coffee, so I'll just take a coffee. It's like black, no cream or sugar or anything like that. I'm a real American.
I don't know what you want then, buddy. Why be mean to yourself like this?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong. Like I drink black coffee all the time. That's what I drink at home. Yeah. I just made a cup of coffee earlier. But like, I don't know. There's nothing wrong. Like there's way more caffeine in like an iced latte than there is in your cup of coffee that you're getting. Oh yeah. So it's not like, I don't know. And a lot of people get just like a double shot of espresso, and like they probably like coffee too, man. But if the person who just drinks black coffee hears double shot of espresso, they're like, that's some sissy baby millennial drink they get at Starbucks. And I'm like, no, it's literally just like super coffee in a little cup. That was my first experience with coffee, was like double espresso, because previous to that I was like, I don't really like coffee. And anytime you say you don't like coffee, you'll have all the people in your life being like, oh, that's just because you've never had good coffee. So when I worked at the gelato shop downtown, we did handmade pasta and fresh coffee. And the coffee was really good. I didn't know that at the time. I just knew that we had coffee. So one day my boss was like, "No, you're looking a little tired." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm pretty beat." And he's like, "Let me make you a coffee." And I'm like, "Well, okay, whatever. I don't really like coffee, but I'll try it. Why not?" And the man made me a double espresso, and then he's like, "Now the way real Italians drink their coffee is each shot of espresso gets 1 pack of sugar." So I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." And he gives me a double espresso with 2 packs of sugar, and he's like, "Now you just knock it all back." And I'm like, "Okay." And I did that, and I'm like, "Oh, this is actually a really good, really strong, like bold taste." And I started to like it a lot, And I think people. Yeah, I really don't like this like a boomer culture thing where they're like, "Oh, them idiot kids drinking frappuccinos at Starbucks. I only drink coffee." I'm like, there's literally, you're paying for something that's flavorful entertainment and energy. Get whatever the hell you want, and don't be mad at other people for getting whatever they want. Like, right? You're not superior. I don't think I ever told you this story, but this is a pretty good story from the barbering days. Okay. This guy came in once, and it was back before I worked there. And my boss was like, "Hello, sir. How can I cut your hair today?" And he's like, "I just want a haircut." And he's like, "All right."
So how short can I take you? Short.
Oh, you actually told me this.
I have?
When you were cutting my hair.
Oh, tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy just like doubles down on this short means short. And, you know, he gives him a real short haircut. And the guy's like, oh, that's really short. And it's like, well, he could go way shorter. He could have gone way shorter. But no, he was just like, decided to be a jerk about it. And I had since then given him the exact same haircut and he was very happy with it. So I don't know. Maybe it was just a problem with my boss. Who knows?
Short means short. I don't know. Yeah, I get that too. Where I'm like, hey, you want any like cream in your coffee? And they're like,
I said I wanted coffee. Oh.
Well, no, they'll be like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, like how much cream do you want? They're like, just a good bit.
Just give me cream in my coffee.
It doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm. It's like, come on, guy. Just answer. It honestly, the thing that bugs me the most is it costs nothing to answer the question without being cryptic.
Mm-hmm.
It really doesn't hurt to just be helpful to the person that you're buying something from.
Yeah, if you're like, give me 2 creams or like an ounce of cream. Be like, all right, cool. I know what that means. I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just say a little bit, I'm like, well, how much is a little bit?
Yeah. You know, and it's like, you know, once again, it's like, no, whatever. But I don't know, just answer questions. I get so fed up when people just refuse to answer questions. It's just exhausting.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm too committed to my aesthetic of asking for a black coffee with cream in it to actually tell you how much cream I want. So, you know, you give them like a medium light thing and it's like, oh, that's way too much cream. What are you doing? It's like, well, you didn't tell me.
You don't tell me things and I can't do things if you don't tell me things. Yeah, it's kind of what it boils down to. But it's fun. I like working in a coffee shop. It's a good time.
I'm glad. Coffee shop was somewhere
the lack of coffee literacy is real, though.
That was a place that I wouldn't mind ending up at, just a coffee shop. I enjoyed the coffee shop life as I knew it back then, so I can't imagine disliking coming back to it now. It would obviously be much busier than I had been used to, so, you know, I probably wouldn't actually like it that much, but it's life. That's just work.
I guess that is just work. Yeah, the thing is, like, I don't know. I wish, like, where I worked was a little bit more, like, hipstery, but it's a little bit, it's not so super hipstery at all. It's a lot of, like we sell a lot of, like, frappes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit different crowd than I personally am a part of.
Yeah.
We get a lot of the types of people who are like, do you have the Starbucks refreshers?
It's like, no, that's Starbucks.
It's a branded thing. No, I don't have Starbucks. Why would I have a Starbucks brand refresher at a not Starbucks? They're pretty bad about letting people. Usually, they don't like to share those.
Mm-hmm. They throw around this term like proprietary information, and they just like won't let you steal it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've been asked that question like at least 5 times. I'm like, come on, no. Why would I have anything from a company that makes their own stuff? You can't do that.
That just reminds me of back when I was at Chick-fil-A and people kept asking us for chicken McNuggets, and it's like, no, we don't have any of those, but we do have chicken nuggets. I get like some of that is just like hard baked into people's thinking of branding a food after a company after a while, but also no.
Yeah, we do live in the world where there's Wendy's, Baconator, Pringles. So
yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. I feel like I'd be willing to try that, but even saying it makes me unhappy.
On principle.
Did you see?
Yeah,
I don't know how much you care about the McElroys, but Griffin was eating one Baconator Pringle for every donation people would make above a certain threshold to BLM.
It did take me like a solid 10 seconds to realize we weren't talking about Macklemore.
Oh, you know what? I apologize.
It's okay. I just was like, I don't know how much you care about the McElroys, and I was like, I don't know what that means, Macklemore. And I was just thinking about Macklemore, and then you were talking about some guy eating Pringles.
I was like, why is Macklemore
but then
eating
I remember
Pringle?
That's a YouTube. I wish Macklemore ate Pringles, but then I remember that's like the YouTuber family or whatever. Macklemore.
Mm-hmm.
Good guy.
So you hear.
I actually don't know if that's true.
I generally hear good things about him. You don't hear anything. The only bad things I hear about him are the people who are just like, oh yeah, Macklemore, thrift shop. Am I right? And it's like,
yeah, he's right. He's right.
Sure.
He's got a good point. Well, I don't know. I guess that's a good stopping point, isn't it? We talked about Macklemore.
We did. He golfs now. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Yeah, professionally.
Yeah, and I respect it. You know, good for him.
I'm happy. I'm happy for you, Macklemore. Mac, if I can.
So yeah, I guess that's it.
Do we do plugs? Yeah, I don't do plugs.
I mean, I did promise you that I wouldn't do any plugs for me next time I did things with you.
Oh.
So I guess
No plugs today, kids.
Yeah, there are patron shoutouts, but I kind of would rather wait until Dan's here for patron shoutouts. I don't think that there are any directed specifically. Oh, you know what? I can do highs today because I'm definitely going to lose it in this just slew of 5D chess images that he kept sending me. 5D chess where you can jump timelines in addition to all kinds of other things. It's actually just so scary. I don't like it. It's just uncomfortable to look at. It's just a mess. Let's see. What is it Hi wanted me to say? There we go. Hi would like to make a standing offer to anyone in the OTA Discord that wants to source and build a custom keyboard at cost. They can DM him because he says, I spent a good amount of time slandering him, saying that he wouldn't help people make the keyboard, that he would only source, but he says he enjoys building it. So yeah, he will source and build the keyboard for you if you pay the money. So that's...
I will carve you a wooden keys for your keyboard.
Wooden keys. There you go. You can get a deluxe
There's a 3-year
keyboard.
waiting period. But if you want to get on the 3-year waiting list, I only accept one applicant.
One applicant every 3 years. It seems fair to me. I feel like it would take a while to carve keyboard keys to specifications.
25 grand.
25 grand. That's not bad. There you go.
Thank you.
Would you also do the keyboard like mount for that?
Another 25.
Another 25, 50 grand for a solid wood keyboard? And they'd have to put the electronics in themselves, of course.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, there you go, everyone. There's your heads up on that one. And with that, we are out.